guys, it's Charlotte and welcome back to my channel. So for today's video, I am going to be telling you guys everything you need to do to prepare for your freshman year of college. I know this semester is going to be very different at essentially every school. I wanted to give you guys some tips on how to meet friends, academics, things like that. Some of these will apply whether or not it was a normal semester, and some of these will hopefully help you acclimate a bit to college life, even though it's going to be a little bit different this year. And I'm sorry if I ever look like I'm not wearing a shirt during this video. Also, I'm going to be making a playlist for everything you need to know to survive freshman year, and that's going to be up here in this corner. It'll have everything from advice to sorority life to what to bring, what not to bring, everything you can think of. And if you guys have videos you want me to make, just let me know. Okay, so starting off, our first section is making friends. So the first thing you guys should definitely do is join the Facebook group. Essentially, every college has a class of, I guess now we're at 2024. This is a great place to not only meet people, but find a roommate too. People will send you Facebook messages, introduce themselves. Another thing that a lot of people do is they tend to kind of have a following spree on Instagram. I remember my freshman year, I don't know if they still do this, someone made an Instagram account that was like class of 2021 Trojans, and they followed everyone they could find that like said they were going to USC that semester, and basically people would just go down that list and like follow everyone that they followed. So there was like this huge following spree, and I also remember that I sent out a lot of DMs to just introduce myself, saying hi. I was kind of looking for roommates as well. This is also great if it's virtual, because this is a virtual way for you to meet more people and find people who have similar interests to you. Okay, now for class. This is obviously going to be a lot more difficult if classes are virtual, but we're gonna try our best to get you some class friends as well. The first piece of advice I have is start a group chat. I had so many group chats for all my classes. It was extremely helpful if you just had questions about when is this assignment due? Oh, am I doing this right? Oh, I missed this day in class. Can you send me the notes? So if it's going to be a virtual semester, I would recommend maybe DMing people or sending them a private message in your Zoom call and just being like, hey, I'm getting a class group chat together, thought you would like to join. Hopefully they won't think you're hitting on them or something. But if you are a bit more on the shy side, which I totally understand, like being the one to make this initiative can be really awkward, you can also email the professor and say, hey, this is a really small class. I would love to get a group chat going. 9 times out of 10, they're gonna think it's a great idea and they'll facilitate it for you. Everyone uses GroupMe. You'll definitely be making a lot of class group chats and group project chats on there. My major is really small. It's only about 30 people, maybe a little bit more. So we have a group chat for my whole major. So if you are in a smaller, more niche major, I would also recommend getting that going. I'm sure someone will start it, but you could be that person to start it. And then joining orgs is obviously very important and probably where you are going to meet a majority of your friends, but I'm talking about that later in this video, so we're gonna hold off for now. Next up, we have class schedules, and I have so many tips for this, guys. This is probably my favorite section in here. First tip, and I want to make a whole video on this, you can change your schedule. Like, I thought my freshman year, I came out of orientation and I wasn't super happy with my schedule. I'm here to tell you, a class is never full. I've gotten my ideal schedule every single semester at USC, and it's never the one that I get first. You have to work to get those classes, okay? You have to be emailing professors, asking them about waitlists, being like looking at WebReg and seeing when the class opens up. Like, you just have to be on top of it and paying attention. So many people change and move around classes their like first and second week of school. So honestly, I would wait until like closer to school, and you would be surprised how many people move around because they're also waiting for other ideal classes. Your ideal class might be someone's class that they got stuck with. Now, for making your schedule and like how it should look, I really recommend doing kind of like a block schedule type thing. Like, I'll show you guys one of my schedules. Basically, I had a bunch of classes together and then big breaks together. That is literally the way to go. You're used to that in high school. In high school, your classes are all together from like, I don't know, 8 a.m. to 3 p.m. Like, that's when your classes are. But in college, you can have classes that go until 10 p.m. and start at 8 a.m. Like, it will be much more spread out. So I would really recommend trying to get your classes together and have bigger breaks in the day if you can. Here's another thing that I didn't discover until my sophomore year, but I think it is extremely helpful. I would plan out your next 4 years. Now, obviously this is going to change. I'm gonna show you guys my little planner that I have, and I have 4 versions of this because I changed my minor, I changed my emphasis, like so much changed in my 4 years, but it's so easy to move it around. I just made this like table in Word. It came from my friend Namita, so thanks Nams. But I basically just move around the classes that I need. I can see how many units I'm taking, and I'm sure you guys have a like list of classes that you need to graduate. Basically just put all those in there. Some classes you have to take at certain times in certain semesters. All right, those are not changing or moving. Put them in there now. And then you guys can see where there's room to have your general ed classes, your electives, and you can start planning out if you're gonna go abroad. So I would definitely recommend doing this. Okay, now we're going into academics. So the first thing I want to talk about is finding classes. So I would definitely recommend looking at Rate My Professor. It is so helpful. If you know any upperclassmen, obviously ask them for some advice. I definitely was able to do that later in college. It's a little difficult as a freshman, but if you do know anyone who especially is in your major, or even not, they can let you know what general eds to take. Another tip, which you guys might think this is weird, but it's really helpful, is knowing where your classes are before the beginning of the school year. I would just go with my friend, we would take our schedules, and we would like walk through our day and go from building to building. That way we would know the fastest way to get from one classroom to the next classroom. We would know exactly where it is, which entrance we should take, especially when you're a freshman. Some of those classes get confusing and the campus map is confusing. This can also let you know if maybe you want to bring a skateboard or a bike. Skateboards are a very big California school thing, but everyone rides a skateboard, or just bring a bike. Now going into what to bring, I actually already made a dorm and clothing video for that, so I'm going to have that linked up in the cards. Be sure to check that out, and obviously it's going to be a part of the playlist that I'm making as well for everything you need to know your freshman year. All right, now we are getting into getting involved, which is my favorite thing to talk about. So to start, involvement fairs. Go to the involvement fair. Just do it. Even if it's virtual, especially if it's virtual. And I understand it. Like, I understand feeling awkward. I would feel awkward too as like a little freshman. You like, instead of being there in person, go to this virtual, like log on, choose the specific club you want to go to. But just know these people are ready. Like we have a PowerPoint, we have a presentation, like you don't have to say anything. We're gonna give you this presentation and spiel that we have worked really hard on, and all you have to do is watch. And then if you have questions, feel free to ask them. If not, it's totally fine. You'll get added to an email list. And there you go, you just joined something. You are not obligated to stay in it, but it's great to just kind of get yourself out there. So please, please, please go to virtual involvement fairs. If you want to join Greek life, I have a whole playlist about Greek life. You guys can check that out. I am going to be making a lot more videos on that as well, including virtual rush advice. If you guys have any specific videos or questions, then let me know what you want. Also, feel free to DM me on Instagram. I love responding to prospective students and kind of giving them some advice. I do it all the time. Do not feel weird about it. Also, don't be overwhelmed. Like, don't sign up for too much your freshman year. My rule of thumb is to sign up for 1 or 2 things every semester. I have done that my entire time in college. I have signed up for at least 1 thing each semester. I've dropped plenty of things too. There's no shame in dropping a club, all right? It's a club. Like, your schoolwork is so much more important than a club, but at the same time, it is definitely very important to be involved on campus. You get to meet people, you get to add stuff onto your resume. All right, so we're going to talk about saving money for a little bit, because I feel like a lot of people are concerned going into college just about saving money, and I can do a whole video about this. I'm just gonna give you a couple tips as of right now. First of all, don't go all out for your dorm room, okay? Yes, like getting decor and everything is great, and I did that as well, but in terms of like furniture and stuff, you don't need a ton of furniture. Don't eat out. You guys are gonna have a dining plan. Eat at your dining hall. You'd save so much money. Like, just don't go to restaurants, maybe like once or twice a week, maybe like a weekend thing, but like you don't need to be eating out all the time. I'm really bad at that. So I'm telling you guys to be better at that. And lastly, for academics, I would definitely recommend renting your books or seeing if there are PDFs online. I found so many PDFs online for my books. You can also, if you know upperclassmen, sometimes they're like passing books down or will sell them to you for really cheap. And also going to your classes, I would wait to buy the book until you go to class and see if you even really need it. Lastly, this is a bit of like a nostalgia thing, but this is for your last summer at home. Spend as much time as you can with your friends and family. I know not everyone like loves their hometown, and I know that you are probably very excited to go off to college, but especially if you're going far from home, like I went all the way across the country, like it's a little sad to like be leaving all your friends and family. So those are all my tips for freshman year. Obviously not all of them apply if you are virtual, but there's still good things to think about, and hopefully if you are virtual, some of these tips were a little helpful, especially like kind of meeting people and getting involved even if you won't actually be there on campus. If you guys have any questions or anything at all, feel free to leave a comment or DM me on Instagram. I love responding. And that is basically it. If you have any other videos you want me to make about freshman year, getting prepared, college, I would be more than happy to make them. Just let me know in the comments down below. Alright, I believe that is it for today's video, so I will see all of you guys next time for my next video. Bye!